So Morpheus is a protocol that lets people effectively own their own AI. And what do I mean by that? I mean that people need access to these powerful models. And if you're hosting a GPU, I as a user can connect and access that GPU, and the protocol handles all the details. So it makes it very easy for people to access these new open weight models. Maybe you've heard of Kimi 3 or GLM 5.2 came out recently, and they're just as good as Claude now. So why you should pay Claude when it's 5 times cheaper to use these open weight models? So the Morpheus community has been building for 3 years, and we're seeing this explosion of usage of people accessing the technology now that the open weight models have caught up. So it's really exciting right now.
Yeah, but in terms of what you just said, own your own AI.
Yeah.
What's the secret sauce? How does that go behind the things? Because of course, if it's an infrastructure, if my data is going out to a GPU, how can I trust it's something credible and not like the other?
So we've spent a long time thinking about the privacy aspects. And there's something in the GPU called a trusted execution element, a TEE. And what that does is you encrypt the prompt on your side, on your laptop. I send it to the GPU, but not even the owner of the GPU can see what's inside the trusted execution element. So it does the calculation, the inference inside of the TEE. It re-encrypts it and sends it back to me. So we can now prove step by step that there's no way anybody could see your information. And to point out, this is so much better than Claude or OpenAI. Like they're literally training on all of you.
Big statement, but I'll take that. By the way, so a lot of people, as I mentioned, they're tokenizing bottles and stuff like that. So in terms of the real SMEs, companies adopting AI, because I see a lot of businesses, there's a huge opportunity out there for the next 5-10 years to automate a lot of stuff and having AI do a lot of work for the companies, right? So in terms of the use cases, SMEs, let's say if Morpheus were to be part of the developing countries such as Pakistan, India, and these countries, and then the developed countries, the banks, all these, companies or organizations, could you lay out 3-4 very common basic use cases so that our audience can understand how this can be connected with the real world and how we can use it? Yeah.
So everybody is racing to get their own personal agent, right? We saw the explosion of OpenClaw in January, right? Now there's Hermes, there's other popular agents, and the agent works for you. It can check your email, it can check your calendar, it can code a website, it can do all those things that people are using Claude for, but now you own it on your computer. So that's really the key, is to have a personal agent that is working for you. And all the businesses are setting this up. They give the agent now to their employee and they say, oh, you'll work together. Now you can do more code. Now you can send more marketing material, right? All the things the employee is already doing, let's just multiply their productivity and their ability to get things done. So somebody that has an agent can get 10 times as much done as somebody without an agent. It's like the person that doesn't have a computer or doesn't have a phone. They're much more powerful when they have those devices. So just like you had a personal laptop, now you're gonna have a personal agent. But my dream is that you'll be able to take that agent with you to every new job that you go to, just like you take your phone or your laptop or your brain or your network.
So Jarvis,
Yeah, you've got Jarvis, right? And it can do all those things. But if we put that in the hands of the individual, most of the value will flow to the individual. That's my goal.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. And I think now in 2026, a lot of people have AI literacy. They're adopting to it. But the problem that I see is they spend 6 months working on AI, and at the end of the day, they have a demo. That is actually adding another layer of cost, complexity. Nobody's looking after it, right?
Sure.
So in terms of your solution and your vision, how easy is that for a normal company business who's not technical to adopt and start using agentic AI in a way that benefits them on the real time? It can be proven with the numbers.
Sure.
If you could.
Well, that's the key, is to make it easy for people. And if you go to app.more.org, app.mor.org, use literally one click to create an API key and then hand that to your agent and switch from Claude to Morpheus. And so there's no technical, there's no code, there's no terminal, you don't have to download anything. It's literally one click on a website now. And I think that's why it's growing so fast, is it's become so easy for people to make the switch. Why should you give all your money to Claude when it's 5 times cheaper to use Morpheus, right? So it makes it simple, easy.
Yeah, Anthropic is not going to like it, but
Yeah, that's okay. It's a free market. They don't have
so
to.
we covered the other side of the things. Now, in terms of these folks, they are launching Fable, Mythos, a lot of new genius AIs, and there's a competition going on, right? So they keep that updating. Now, let's say somebody who took that on the AI. How are you managing the updates on the real time? Are you doing it the way they are doing, or it's just something that I own and now it's going to remain the same, or is it learning? How does that work?
It's constantly improving. So as people release these new models, like Kimi K3 just came out a few days ago, and it's even better than Fable. Like, that's amazing, right? And as soon as it got released, immediately somebody added it to Morpheus. That's the power of open source, is you have a community of people
that's contributing to it.
That's constantly contributing. So usually within a few hours of a new technology coming out, it gets added to Morpheus. And I try to remind people, we as an open source community are much more powerful than one company, right? We're the whole world, right? We have more people, more data, more contributors. And so the speed at which this moving is just incredible.
Perfect. And the people getting that AI, being literate, let's say being part of your team from any region, can they offer services and automate the businesses near them using this technology? Are you expanding on that side as well?
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing about Morpheus is there's no centralized company. There's no permission required. Anybody can build on it. And so we see lots of users in Southeast Asia. We see them in Europe. 80% of them are outside the US. I don't know who they are. They don't
guarantee it won't shut off suddenly.
Sure. Well, that's the real strength of the community, is you have thousands of participants all building it up, right? And each of them in the marketplace can offer the model. If one person turns off, doesn't matter. Like, there's 100 other people that can offer the model, right? That's the real strength. The fragility is in the centralized companies. We saw Fable 5 was banned. The government just sent them a letter, turn it off. Like,
that's so intelligent.
It's so intelligent. But it's kind of a joke, right? Because now Kimi K3 is smarter than Fable, but they can't turn it off because everybody
ran a marketing strategy, but it didn't work out well for them. They got competitors. So you are also an early adopter of Bitcoin, and you've been in the Web3 space, right? But I think there's a lot of speculation, a lot of mistrust on the blockchain side, right? How do you see the future of these two? But because I see that as a triangle. So let's say we have the immersive virtual technology, and then we have AI, then we have Web3. I think that's going to create the new revolution. So in terms of the intersection of these technologies, how do you see the world moving from here?
So the challenge with blockchain and crypto has always been the complexity, right? It's so difficult to use the smart contracts.
60 years old guy cannot open a wallet, sign a transaction. It's too difficult.
It's too difficult. So now we have the AI as the front end, and blockchain can be the back end, right? It's programmable money, which is perfect for programmable intelligence, right? In a lot of ways, blockchain was really made for the machines, not for the people, right? That's why it's only been mostly engineers who understood the blockchain, right? And so this is magic. I think this is how we get to billions of users in Web3, is by giving them an AI, and they'll just tell it what to do. They don't have to look at the smart contract. They don't have to mess with the wallet. And so I think that's really going to lead to a lot of growth.
Yeah. Interestingly, when we were chatting earlier, you gave an example about Nigeria, right? So Eastbridge Global, our company, is also very much focused on the education. We don't do it for money. It's like a contribution. So what we're trying to do is we are partnering up with the governments and trying to give the literacy of AI to the high school, 4th, 5th, 6th grade students, right? So in terms of the adoption and in terms of the awareness, would you be open, and what's your plan in terms of facilitating this technology to the developing countries, Middle East, Asia? How do you see that going? I just want to understand.
I think the best way to learn anything is by doing. It's by actually using the technology, right? And so I encourage people, if they haven't already used Hermes or some similar agent, to go ahead and download it. They can connect it to Morpheus, and then they have this powerful tool in their hands. And it's become so easy where you can just download it and put it on your laptop or even on your phone. We need to keep breaking down those barriers so the average person can access the technology. So, that's the beautiful thing about a community. You don't need permission from me. Anybody can use the technology and access Morpheus today. So I'd love to see more of those.
Excellent. And that's what we call technology with a purpose. So that should be it. Thank you so much for wonderful insights. Well, great to have you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great discussion.